Hi, I'm Judith Cassel-Mamet. In this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work with a self-portrait where you are wearing a mask. It is so much easier to draw the portrait where you don't have to bother with the nose and the mouth and all this detail. Throw on a mask, keep each other safe, and draw people wearing masks. At the end of this tutorial, I'm also going to talk about really expanding your concept of skin tone. It's not always this color. And we're going to talk about creating different skin tones because drawing people wearing masks is so quick and easy. You're going to want to just play around and learn how to create skin tones for different ethnicities. Drawing the human face in a traditional manner requires measuring out from the crown to the chin, dividing that space in half with a slightly curved line, because that midway point is going to tell us where the eyes sit on this basic egg shape. Ears begin at the top, sit right there where the eye line is. Then we typically measure, so that's half, then we typically measure out half again for the bottom of the nose, and we divide that space in half, and that becomes the bottom of the lips. And then we can measure across to figure out the eyes. For a man, the neck usually starts right under the ear, and for a woman, the neck usually starts a little lower. So the male neck tends to be a little bit wider. But you know what? When you're drawing somebody who's wearing a mask, all you need is the basic shape of the face. You need the eye line, which is going to tell you where the ears are. And then you need to just draw your mask in so that all you're going to indicate is where the eyes are going, right in here, or if it's summer and everybody's wearing sunglasses, you can get the sunglasses drawn in with the eyes in here, some eyebrows, and all of this is a mask. So much easier. I realized how much easier it was to draw a portrait of someone wearing a mask when I was getting together with some art friends to sketch outside on a windy day far apart from one another. And what fun I had just playing with all the different colors of the masks. Here's how I set it up. You don't really need to measure anything. You could start by just drawing the eyes. And let me show you the simplest way to draw an eye for something like this is going to be just some scribbly lines, because behind the mask, if you're drawing somebody who's near you, they're probably smiling and their eyes are getting a little bit more squinched up together. There's no need to draw a perfect eye or anything like that. They can just be kind of scribbly lines. And now my mask shape can just go in here. And to figure out where this is going to end, I can just randomly bring it down there till it looks right. And now I need to measure my chin to the eyes is about that far. So I know I need to make the crown of my head about there. So remember that the eyes sit halfway between the crown and the chin. So we can do a quick measurement, and now I know that I've got my eyes at the halfway mark. And my ear is going to come here, so my mask goes up. The ear starts at the eye line, so the mask goes up. And then this part of the mask is either going to go around or loop behind the ear. So let me bring that ear down a little bit and this back up like that. Okay, here's the crown. So you get to just have a blast with whatever hair style you want to put on. You can experiment and explore all different kinds of hairstyles. Doesn't have to be just what you're used to looking at. And again, with the neck, for a female, the neck tends to not be quite as wide as a male, and then I can just kind of indicate some sort of clothing, and now I have a face with a mask. How easy was that? And I get to add all different colors that I would like to the mask. I'll show you a few more. You know, this might be a great time to do a self-portrait. So I took a selfie with my gray mask on. I've indicated the line for my eyes. My ears actually start just a tiny bit above that line on both sides. I measured from here to the chin and then figured out that the crown of my head is here. And of course, I always try to get my hair to stand up a bit. So there's the crown, and you can see how much higher my hair managed to be today. This is the center. So I'm going to have fun trying to draw that in pen and watercolor. Okay, I've made my marks on the page. That's going to be for the eye line. I just came down randomly to the chin. I measured up. There's my crown. And oh yeah, my eyes are actually pretty squinty. So I'm just gonna scribble to get the general eye shape. And then it looks like they're pretty far apart. I could measure on the paper to see how far apart my eyes are. But if that's one eye, there's about an eye's distance in between. So I can measure, there's one eye, there's about an eye's distance in between. So I know the next eye would be right about here. And you can't go wrong with a scribbly eye, scribbly lines, especially for an older person. And I'll add a little bit of the wisdom lines or whatever. And now my glasses take up an awful lot of the face. So I'll continue to draw those glasses on and add some color and show you the details. So I kept my lines really sketchy. I had the most fun with the hair. I also had a lot of fun just covering up the nose and the mouth. And now I'm going to add a bit of watercolor and play with some of the shadows to make things look round. I'm using my little travel paintbrush, which I love, and I'm going to start off by getting my forehead pretty wet and mixing up some of my quinacridone red, just a little bit, with a little yellow ochre to get skin tone for an older white lady. And I can see that since this is rounded, I need to show the roundness by making it a little bit more rosy on the side. That's going to give it a feeling of being darker. And I'll come in here for the basic skin tone for an older white lady. I can't wait to show you different skin tones. The mask is just a gray, in the gray family, so I can just get that painted in. And then I will add some detail when that dries with my black pen again. But I can show whoops, that was a little heavy. That's all right. The one thing that's fun about these masks is they can be absolutely any color, any pattern, anything, and that's why I think this is just so much fun. Okay, so my mask has some shadow in it, and then I'll get my more or less signature blue glasses painted in with the cobalt. I don't care that some of that's bleeding. And I'll show you how I'll clean that up in just a minute. So I'm going to just get my blue in there with the cobalt. Little dab. And then to show my gray hair, I'm going to get some purple with some Payne's Gray happening under here to indicate some of the shadow. And it'd be fun to have purple hair too. There we go. And I need some skin tone in the area of my eyes and my neck. So I've just thrown a little bit of my personal skin tone in here. I can indicate my ear a little bit more by going back. Once the watercolor is dry, I can go back in and add some of the details of these pleats on the mask and some dark shadows there around my ear. But honestly, I feel like this is about as much of my self-portrait as I need to do, and it's so easy wearing a mask. Okay, I'd like to really encourage everybody to take a look at skin tones from different ethnicities and different races. It will open up your palette, it'll open up your mind and your eyes. So to make skin tones of a black person, there's such a range of color that you could start with sepia, which is going to be pretty dark, and add in some cobalt blue to get this really nice mix of color. See right in here? And where that blue and the sepia mix, see how it creates that nice shadow or highlight on the side of her head? Down here was burnt umber and cobalt, and where they mix together you can get some different skin tones. And another great color for working with people of color is quinacridone gold deep mixed with quinacridone red. Those two blend together, and of course if you add a lot of water you get this, oh look how pretty that is, that really nice color. So you know what, challenge yourself, look online, you can Google people of color or a specific ethnic group and really try to match to those skin tones. And look how easy it is to draw the mask, get the sunglasses on, and then study how to do hair that is typically found on black people so that you can get those nappy effects, and it's just using different colors and different strokes. On this one down here I had a good time because it was primarily done in cobalt and then black, Payne's gray, and some ink, and then I just went into it with a white gel pen. And dreadlocks are wonderful. You can come down like this with your color, add a little pen, add a little white gel, and you've got the indication of the dreadlocks. One thing I will mention is look how close the hair is to the head here for people wearing dreadlocks, so you don't need to bring the hair up off the crown quite as high. So, you know, give it a try. I had a good time mixing all these different skin tones, writing down what I used and where I was going with my shading. And this was a great exercise to just blow open my more typical color palette. So to conclude, try different skin tones, draw people, paint people wearing masks. You'll have a blast. Stay safe.